Hey, what's up guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Welcome back to another live stream. Happy Monday. Before you know it, it will be Friday again. This week though, however, between Monday and Friday, we could see some unprecedented solar activity, and a lot of that activity could be Earth directed. We'll have to wait and see. Having coffee with common sense, what's going on with you today? You're looking at a very recent image of the Earth facing side of the sun, and as you can see coming out of active sunspot 4295, a large filament, a big plume of plasma jumping up out of the sunspot, landing in the northern hemisphere, right up there being pulled back in. That's because of opposite polarities, positive polarity and negative polarity, and it kind of does its whole thing and pulls it back into the sun. But we're going to talk about that here in just a moment. Something else we're going to talk about in this video, Bonnie and Berlinda. Check this out. I put together a map. Where's my map? Here it is, right there. All right, here we go. This is really cool. Okay, I received in the last 24 hours, I received two different videos from two different people of last night's sky that don't know each other. In fact, they're almost 1,200 miles apart, 1,160 to be exact. They're in different states, they're in different time zones, but apparently they witnessed the same thing in the nighttime sky an hour apart. You can't make this stuff up. I'm not making it up. It's true, and I can prove it with video footage that I've got. Enon Free and Share. What's going on, guys? Moon Fairy. Got the moderator in the house. Thank you, moderator. Appreciate that. But first, I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the situation with the sun, because it's going to be a situation all week long. So here we go. Coming over here to the homepage of the website, quick look at the current planetary K index. Right now, the last 72 hours are showing everything pretty much all quiet. Looking at the incoming solar storms, you can see there's last night's X2 class solar flare that came off of the eastern limb of the sun. That sunspot is now turning towards the Earth, along with many other jumbo sunspots. Look at how fast that's right there. Let me back that up and show you guys. That's pretty cool. That is what you call a high-speed CME. Check this out. See it? That's the CME right there. And right there, that line that you see right here, that's the Earth. That's the orbit of the Earth. Okay, around the sun. The red dot is stereo ahead. I'll show you that here in just a moment. But look at how quick that CME went from the sun. If that were the Earth, right there, it arrived in, I'll tell you, 36 and a half hours, almost 37 hours. That is fast. That's over 4.5 million miles an hour that CME was traveling. And speaking of CME, right here it is. You just saw it on the Parker spiral right there. There's a graph showing the CME that was real. It did happen. Here it is. You want to see it? Here's the CME up close. That was generated by the X2 class solar flare. Watch up here in the upper left. Look at how big that thing was. We're going to go in for a closer look. Came off the sun at a staggering 4.5 million miles per hour. Luckily, that one was not Earth directed, but as you guys well know, right here they are. There is an entire row of sunspots turning towards the Earth, and this collection right here is already facing the Earth. There's many active regions down here in the southeastern limb of the sun and above the equator where the X flare came from, right there from sunspot 4295. So we've got 4295, 4294, 4296, just a whole deal. Here's the X flare from last night. Now, not necessarily a long duration, but lasting almost an hour and a half. And if you look real close at that video that I just shared, you can see multiple pulses, right? There's one, there's another one. There's another one. There's another one. Went on for about an hour and a half. You can see the flare pulsing for nearly 2 hours, producing the primary X2, and then there were smaller ones after that. But that was one big, impressive CME. And again, very fast, very high speed, not quite Carrington speed. If we're getting into Carrington territory, you're looking at a solar flare, or actually a CME, moving at close to 6 million miles per hour. I know it sounds almost impossible, but it's true. It's happened before in the past. The Carrington event of 1859. Who's this here? Thank you for the super chat. Rita Clements. Appreciate that. The Carrington event 1859, the CME arrived at the Earth in less than 16 hours. Yeah, it was moving very, very fast. So we don't want to see one of those in today's high-tech world. We don't know exactly what it would do to the satellites and ground-based equipment and the power grid, all that stuff. We don't really want to know. We have an idea of what it could do. We're already seeing right here, as you can see on this long play I've got playing, the magnetic field weakness down in the southern Atlantic. All kinds of things going on we can talk about in another video. In this video, I wanted to give you guys an update on the green anomaly down in the South Indian Ocean. Here it is on the 30th, and here it is on the 29th. There and there. So it's still there, whatever it may be. It's showing up on the GOES 19 satellite down in deep in the southern hemisphere, just north of Antarctica. Never seen anything like it. I have never seen anything like that on that satellite. Not that it's anything nefarious, but nevertheless, it is unusual. You don't normally see big green blobs down there on the satellite, but we have been now for over 3 weeks. I take a screen grab of it every day, just keeping track of it, just to see what it's doing, if it's getting any bigger. It's not an aurora because it's happening after sunrise. So I don't know what's going on down in the southern Indian Ocean, but it is indeed weird. Looking at this photo right here, I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to share it with you in closer detail, but isn't that neat? Kind of an optical illusion. Looks like they're driving into the ocean. However, they are not. We're going to come back and take a look at what they're doing in that photo here in just a moment. There's the CME right there at the LASCO C2 and 3. You can see it was almost a full halo. I know there's some information going around saying that it was a full halo. Not quite. A full halo would be all the way around all 360 degrees of the coronagraph. You can see it didn't quite make it. So that's not quite true. You can see, though, it was a high-speed CME, as we looked at earlier. Very large, very fast, and if that would have been Earth-directed, it would have created a very strong geomagnetic storm. Here's what it's looking like over at the Stereo Ahead spacecraft. There was the debris field we talked about yesterday, moving into December 1st. Right there it is on the Stereo Ahead COR2. What a massive CME. Unbelievable. And we can expect more of the same as we're moving forward this week. There's the X flare, and here's the row, the big, huge row of this. Actually, we're under a giant sunspot alert. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're growing. These have been hyperactive on the backside of the sun, and there's no reason why they won't be hyperactive here eventually on the Earth-facing side of the sun. So anyway, we're going to come back and take we'll look at that here in just a moment. This photo here is what I want to talk about. We're going to look at that right now, and then I'm going to share with you guys what people saw in the nighttime sky last night. Truly bizarre. But first, this rare photo out of Iowa. I've received a lot of photos over the years, but I've never received anything like this. Looks like these folks are driving right down to the beach, right? Going to spend the afternoon down on the beach, beautiful blue waters. This is nowhere near the ocean. Check it out. You know where this is at? Central Iowa. You can't make this stuff up. Yeah, right there. Angie Hallahan out of Central Iowa was driving down the road, and she couldn't just help but notice the uncanny resemblance to the skyline over here. And we've been noticing these sharp edge clouds up in the skies here recently. In fact, I shared with you guys 2 videos yesterday of this phenomena. Here's a third. This is a still image. Looks like she's headed to the beach. Isn't that wild? I had to share that with you guys, and I put it over at the homepage of the website. Unbelievable. You talk about weird. That is just absolutely weird, but not quite as weird as what went on last night in the skies from Texas to North Carolina. Here we go, guys. This gets really bizarre. Between 8:10 Eastern Time, 8:08 Central Standard Time, something was going on in the skies between somewhere in central North Carolina down into south central Texas. Okay, check this out. Look at this video. Whatever this was that was in the sky was spotted 1,160 miles apart, exactly 58 minutes apart from each other. So whatever this was, it was moving from east to west. And that's why I put that map up. Started out over here in the Carolinas, and it was viewed over here in Texas 58 minutes later. The same exact phenomena last night in the sky just after dark. Here we go. This is hard to believe, but it's true. So I put this map together for perspective purposes. 1,160 miles apart, our time difference. We're going to start off in North Carolina where this was spotted first. Here we go. And again, these people don't know each other. They shared these videos with me. There could have been many more, and I'm sure there were many more people that saw this last night that may have video footage of this, but I just happened to receive video footage from Oris Morton out of North Carolina. This video was taken by his son at 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Look what he saw in the sky. I know what you're thinking. Normally, this is ground-based stuff. I get it. And that's what I thought too. Until I saw the next video. No, this is not ground-based stuff. There was something in the clouds last night above North Carolina and above Bexar County, Texas, which is down in the San Antonio area. An hour later, at 8:08 p.m. Central Time, let me turn the volume down. Roe looked up. Let me go back just a little bit. Roe, 8:08 p.m. Central Standard Time. So this would have been 58 minutes later than when the first sighting was spotted in North Carolina. They stepped outside, looked up, and saw the same thing in the nighttime sky. 1,160 miles apart, 58 minutes later. So whatever that thing was, blinking above the clouds, it's at the same altitude, it's doing the same thing. Look at that thing, it just pulled back, stopped in the clouds up there, and it's got a high blinking light on it. That's not anything from the ground. No way. That light is originating from where it's at, not from the ground. So that's the second video I got. So when I got this second video, I'm like, wait a minute, man. This looks like the first video I got. So what I did, for your viewing pleasure, I put them side by side. North Carolina on the left, which was sent in by Oris, and then the video on the right sent in by Roe. Look at the similarities. Same exact altitude, same exact luminosity, same brightness, same general movements, doing the same thing, moved across the entire southeastern United States last night. So did anybody else happen to see this? There's no way that only 2 people saw that in last night's sky. No way, because it was at around 8 o'clock. People were up, they were out and about. It wasn't like it was after midnight, people were in bed. Here's a still image I took from one of the videos right here. This is a still image out of Texas. Notice how in this still image, you can see what looks like a round ball of light. And of course, that could be just oversaturation from the brightness of the light itself. But you can clearly see here, this is originating from the sky, not the ground. And it almost looks like something protruding out the sides equally in distance and perfectly horizontal. That didn't originate from the ground. No way. I'm going to adjust the lighting here so you can see there may be something to this. See it? And what I mean by something is there may be more than just this ball of light here in the middle. There's something here on the left, and there's something here on the right, and quite possibly something above. There was something, trust me, in the skies last night that was witnessed by at least 2 people, one from Texas and one from North Carolina. It was Oris's son that was driving down the road. Notice here in this black and white image, notice what looks like an extremity over here and over here. And I know this thing's moving crazy fast. There it is right there. Some sort of ball energy, man, moving across the sky. I don't know. I don't know of a physical structure that could move that fast. But you can't deny what we're seeing here. There's something there that has mass. Okay, there definitely is something there. But once again, 1,160 miles apart, North Carolina and Texas. So this thing traveled from North Carolina to Texas in 58 minutes. So it went above South Carolina, more than likely. It went above Georgia, North Georgia. It went above Alabama. It went above Mississippi. It went above Louisiana, East Texas, into Central Texas, and then more than likely down into Mexico. Did anybody else happen to see this thing in last night's sky? I'm just curious. I don't think this is a drone because I don't think a drone could move this fast and remain intact. I think whatever it was, it would have fallen apart. I don't know what we've got going on. Look at how fast this thing was moving. Those lights are originating from the sky. Yes, from the sky. I'm 100% sure. Those are not coming from the ground. No way. Here's the second sighting out of Texas. That was the first sighting out of North Carolina. And again, they watch these things for much longer than the videos were. They were driving down the road. This gentleman here was also in a car. Notice the pulsating lights. Those lights are coming from the sky. Watch how fast they move. I mean, they move and stop on a literal dime. Look at that. They're sitting right there just blinking very, very rapidly like they're chasing each other. Look at how fast. They were moving so fast right there, he could barely keep up. Not originating from the ground. Those are sky-based lights on something in the sky last night. Anybody else see that? We saw it in Brooksville, Florida. Thank you, Violet. No, they're not from the ground, Phoenician. No way. These are not from the ground. New Mexico, right. Could be lights on a drone. And you know what, Darkstorm? It very well could be. I'm not familiar with all the drones that are out there. But man, these things are moving unbelievably fast. Especially the one over here in Texas. Dano Stevens, howdy. Racine, Wisconsin, saying hello. Hello, Racine, Wisconsin. Thank you, Dano, from right out here in Southeast Phoenix, Arizona. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah, normally, guys, 9 out of 10 of these videos that I get, these lights that you see behaving like this, you can normally tell they're from the ground because you'll see the shaft of light originating from the ground. Obviously, you know, it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. We've all seen these before. You'll see a light beam, though, originating from the ground. This is horizontal. It's originating from the sky. These over here stop and are pulsating. They're flickering. They're moving in the sky, creating their own light. That light is not, I repeat, not coming from the ground. No, it was not. Those things right there, notice how they collected each other. They went right towards each other. Notice the ones over here on the right. They stop right there on a dime, and it's like they're rotating around each other and then dart, and then right back. So wild. And again, when I got the first video out of North Carolina, I was like, okay, you know, like I normally am. I'm like, okay, I'm looking for the beam coming up from the ground. It really wasn't 20 minutes later, I got another video out of Texas. Put the 2 and 2 together, and sure enough, 2 different people from 2 different states and 2 different time zones saw apparently the same mysterious object in the nighttime sky last night. You can't make this stuff up. You don't have to, man. Pay attention, look around, keep your smartphone with the high definition recording device at the ready, and you'll see some things that you didn't know even existed. Trust you me, it's out there. I see videos sent in every day by people from all around the world. Here's some bizarre photos that have been sent in here recently. Sean out of Northeast Kansas sent this one in. Again, this is a real photo. Don't know what's going on here. Giant cotton balls in the sky. John S. out of Pittsburgh. He saw a version of the same thing. This one here, though, was only one. Just one up there in the sky, almost touching the treetop there. And then John saw several. I know those are mammatus clouds. We see those frequently. Fran sent in this video of these big, gigantic sunbeams in the sky. Greg Dempster out of South Lake Tahoe sent in this very colorful sky. Looked like an oil slick up in the clouds. This looked like a big old ship in the sky, sent in by Lawrence out of Florida. That's a real photo. That is not AI. Lance out of Geelong, Australia. Looked up and saw a big, intense halo. Randy, where was Randy at when he took this photo? Randy was in Sarasota, Florida. Looked up and saw big old sunbeams, big shadows at sunset. That's created by tall clouds over there. You can see light kind of leaking off to the left and right. Helene out of Norway, I believe. Hold on, let me see. My thing's blocking the... Yeah, Helene Johannesson out of Western Norway sent in an aurora picture. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because we might be seeing a lot of these in the next few days in Canada, obviously Norway, the United States. Just depends on how deep the ovation prime is going to let the gases dip. So that will all remain to be seen. We're going to see some activity though, rest assured. This is a hot spot. The eastern limb of the sun is primed and ready for action. So be ready for some auroras this week, guys. Maybe by this weekend, who knows? Maybe by the end of the week. We're waiting on the activity. The sun is primed and more than ready for solar activity. In fact, we're under a geomagnetic storm watch right now. We could see a G2 geomagnetic storm by tomorrow night into the 3rd that could go up to a possible G3 geomagnetic storm. We'll have to wait and see though, as the cloud could miss the Earth, but right now they're anticipating possibly a G2. Auroras above 55-degree north latitude, so more than likely not even down in the United States. Maybe in northern New York and northern Washington, northern Minnesota, but not much deeper than that. Maybe up in Montana too. So anyway, guys, the mysterious lights last night in the southeastern United States. Folks saw something in the sky above the clouds, moving very fast. And again, those lights were not coming from the ground. Hey, Sean in 1985, you are welcome. Thank you for the super chat. Give you a big thumbs up there. Appreciate that. That's very kind. Thank you. Very thoughtful. Appreciate that. If you guys want to become Star Family members, there's a link down below in the description box. Feel free to become a Star Family member if you so wish. And I thank you in advance. You're looking at some just cool photos that I put together. There's Comet. That was Comet Lemon right there. We're going to do an Atlas update here in a couple of days. 3I Atlas, the mysterious interstellar traveler that's entered our solar system from another star system. How about that? That doesn't happen very often, and it's happened 3 times in our lifetimes, and that hardly ever happens. So there definitely is something going on. Bet on it. There's something going on. Exactly what is? We're watching. We're trying to figure out. We've got some ideas. But yes, there's definitely something going on, guys. And we're going to do a 3I Atlas update here, like I said, probably in the next day or two. But right now, all eyes are on the sun. We're anticipating a lot of action here this week, this coming weekend. We could see some exceptional geomagnetic storm activity when these things do decide to unleash like they've been doing on the backside of the sun. Oh, thank you, Shauna. Shauna, that's very cool. Appreciate that. Pat S., member, Star Family member for 24 months. Thank you, Pat. Drew Solo. What's up, Drew Solo? Here's that's Comet Atlas right there back in, when was that? January, I think? No, October of 2024. There's a comet that went very close to the sun, and it did not fall apart. Cruised right on by. That was not 3I Atlas, by the way. 3I Atlas, here's a look at Comet Lemon right there. Got an unbelievably long tail, and that's the thing that Comet 3I Atlas does not have. It does not have the incredibly long tail, so it is an enigma. It's got a lot of people curious as to exactly what this thing is, and we are going to talk about it one of these days this week. I'm putting together some things to share with you guys, but once again, right now, all eyes are on the sun. We are watching and anticipating a lot of solar activity coming up this week, and once again, into this weekend. Well, listen, guys, I want to thank you guys for your the new Star Family members, the current Star Family members that are in the house. Pat S., Shauna, thank you. Appreciate all of the kindness. It helps a lot more than you know. Well, listen, I got to keep it short, guys. I got to hop off here. I've got some other things to take care of. In fact, I've got a Zoom call that I've got to take here in just about 5 minutes. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.